Hey guys, and welcome back to another mod spotlight. My name is Illusion, and today we're going to be talking about Simply Jetpacks. The mod author is Tonius. Hopefully I said one of those two right. But just like the name implies, it adds jetpacks to the modded Minecraft world. So for the sake of transparency, I'm on my Direwolf 20 1.6.4 world. I have added Simply Jetpacks because it wasn't natively in there, but just to do a little bit of testing. So let's get right into it. So this mod adds basically 4 tiers of jetpacks. And you'll notice that they're named Leadstone, Hardened, Redstone, and Resonant. And you'll notice there's a lot of similarities to the thermal expansion names. Well, that's because these jetpacks run off of RF, which is really cool. So this is a good jetpack that's going to kind of compete against the IC2 jetpack, and in some ways to a modular power suits. So you can see right here, each of them have a different energy tank and energy usage. So let's get into crafting recipes. So Leadstone jetpack, you're going to need just some lead, some thrusters, which are a little bit complicated but not necessarily expensive, and a flux capacitor. And then as you move up the tiers, you can either craft it new or use the lower tier all the way up through redstone and then resonant finally. So let's give one of these a try. My favorite, of course, is the redstone and the resonant, but let's give the resonant a try. So we're just going to equip it to our chest piece, and there's 2 options that you're going to have to look for. So F is going to turn your jetpack and jump on and off. Now F is the default keybind, of course you can change it, and C will change your hover mode to enable and disable. So we're going to have jetpack enabled and hover mode on, and you can see in the top left corner we get a nice readout saying what our energy usage is. So just like a typical jetpack, you fly around. But I've let go of the space bar. You can see I'm now in the hover mode. You can see I come down ever so slightly. Of course I can press shift to come down. But if I come up against this little house, you can see how slowly I'm coming down. So this really is going to be nice for the guys that are working on the roof or need to place some blocks way up in the air. And of course I can just turn C back off and come right back onto the ground. Cool, huh? And you can see how much energy I've used. So alright, so let's now go into the thing that I really think is cool about these jetpacks. So let's put this guy back, because we don't need him yet or anymore. To charge him up, you can just throw him in an energetic infuser, like so. If I just toss this guy in here, you can see him charging up. Second way to charge it, let's see, this one I've used a little bit. You can also charge it from a flux capacitor in your inventory once you turn it on. And you can see now that guy's charged up. So you can kind of carry around some extra energy as you fly around in the world in the form of a flux capacitor. So pretty cool. So now let's get into what makes this a whole lot cooler than IC2. You can armor these jetpacks. So there's 4 stages of plating, what they're called plating, and they each have to tie to the assigned tier that they're in. You can't take a redstone jetpack and put Enderium plating on it, but you can put Enderium on a resonant, Invar on a redstone, bronze on a hardened, and iron on a leadstone. So to make these platings, you'll see here's iron, which is some iron and some tin. That's, you know, relatively cheap. It's really cheap. To make the Tinker's Alloy or the bronze, you just need some bronze and some iron plating and an induction smelter. The Invar, and the lower tier, the last tier plating, and of course the same is true, Enderium and the previous tier. So it's really not that bad to craft. So I'll show you how much I got full. I got some iron armor on, and you can see that it does do a lot of coverage on your armor meter. So cool. Now if I was to switch to diamond armor, you can see I got full protection now. So really neat. The way to disassemble and assembling is just to shift right click. So just like that, on and off. Nice. And if you mouse over it, you can see that there's a little tool tip to use while sneaking to remove. Cool. So let's throw that guy back on. Now the last and the final cool thing about this mod is the customizer, particle customizer. So if I jump into F5 mode, turn you on, you can see it just got some normal particle effects, right? Alright, out of F5. So let's customize it. Let's put the actually that's not what I want. Let's put this nice little sparkly one on. Cool. Yeah, jump back in F5. Cool, huh? Nice little rainbow effect for my particle effects coming on Jetpack. So this is really neat. I've enjoyed playing with it so far in the limited setting that I have. I can't wait to get it updated to 1.7. I get to play with it a little bit more. But it's a good rival to the IC2 Jetpack following the thermal expansion API, and the fact that you can armor it up. So much cooler. And you can also kind of compare it to modular power suits as far as you get an armored jetpack. But this is a whole lot cheaper than crafting all those flight pieces for a modular power suit. So I like it. I plan to use it. I will leave a link below down to the Minecraft forums for the forum page for you to look at. One thing I didn't go over that I need to go over probably is on these tiers of jetpacks. It's flight time. So on the leadstone, you're going to get about a minute of flight and about a minute and a half of hover. A harden, you'll have about 4.5 minutes of flight and 6.5 of hover. A redstone, you'll have about 11 minutes of flight time and about 16.5 of hover. And then our resident, you'll have about 21 minutes of flight time and 30 minutes of hover. So once you get to the higher tier, that's a pretty substantial amount of time. But keep in mind, you always can just throw another flux capacitor on your inventory, take a quick break, have some food, charge up your jetpack while you're on the road, and then keep on going. So pretty cool. Also, this does have a creative jetpack for those that want to, are working in the creative world. But if you're working in creative, you probably would just have creative flight mode. So I'm not sure about that. There's also one other jetpack that I did not cover, and it's a tuberous jetpack. I'll leave a link to my video. I'm not gonna spoil this one. I'll leave a link to one of my videos to shows you what happens when you try to fly a tuberous jetpack. But again, that's it for this video. Thanks again for joining me. I hope you like the Simply Jetpacks mod. I know I do. If you're new to my channel, thanks for coming by. Please stick around. I got some other things coming up, and I will see you guys on the next video.